Welcome to Yakutia Outdoors. On November 25th, just under a month after our unsuccessful attempt shown in the previous video, we set out once again to hunt mountain sheep. The reason was simple. There was very little time left in the season, and our hunting license would expire on December 1st. This time, we headed to the mountains of the Tampansky district. They are nearly twice as close to Yakutsk as the mountains of the Momsky district, where we went on our previous trip. We left at 7 in the morning, and by 2 o'clock at night, we were already at the hunting area. By then, winter had fully taken hold. All the rivers were frozen, the road was good, and this time we made it there without any trouble. So in this video, we will go straight to the hunt. After arriving, we first set up the tents and got the stove going. Once it warmed up a bit inside, we went to sleep. The morning was bitterly cold. Outside, it was -46 degrees Celsius. Fortunately, in addition to a regular stove, we had also brought a portable heater that runs on kerosene or diesel fuel. So inside the tent, it was quite comfortable, and we did not freeze at all during the night. In the morning, we grabbed a quick bite and got ready for our first outing in this new hunting area. After walking about 10 meters, we immediately spotted mountain sheep tracks. That truly lifted our spirits. Then, a few hundred meters later, we found even more tracks. That gave us even more optimism and hope that we might finally take the trophy we had been waiting for. And then, at last, we spotted a ram. He was standing on the top of the mountain, about 550 meters, or around 1,800 feet, away from us. Judging by his horns, he was still young and not a trophy animal. But we still decided to try for him by climbing a little higher up the slope to get closer. We did not risk taking the shot from where we were because the angle was too steep for that distance. We were so focused on that one ram that none of us noticed the others grazing a little lower down the slope. We only spotted them later when we reviewed the footage, and when we zoomed in, we could see that one of them was a really good trophy ram.
Не попали, да? Үйе ол чубуку беото хүдден. Хамы үйенен кырар. Кар кетер жол кырар. О барды.
Unfortunately, that was a miss, and we lost our chance at him. After the shot, we saw a whole group of rams running off, and we thought they must have come out from the other side of the mountain after being spooked by the noise. So we decided to climb higher, hoping they might still be there. At the same time, 2 of our guys moved toward the neighboring mountain in case the rams crossed over that way. But unfortunately, luck was not with either of us, and the first day of the hunt ended without success. The next morning, when we stepped out of the tent, we were surprised to find that the day was actually fairly warm. It was only -35 degrees, even though the forecast had called for temperatures as low as -50. We grabbed a quick breakfast, got ready, and headed out. This time, we decided to go in the opposite direction. After just a few meters, we once again spotted plenty of sheep tracks. And after walking about a mile, we saw sheep feeding on the top of the mountain. They were about a mile away from us, roughly 1.5 kilometers. So realizing they were out of reach, we decided to at least get closer with the drone and film them. But unfortunately, in those freezing conditions, our drone could not climb higher than about 500 meters, so we filmed them from as close as we could. While we were filming with the drone, the guy spotted another ram on the opposite mountain. He was also too far away for us, so we decided to at least film him as well. It was a huge ram, a true trophy animal. He watched the drone for a while, then suddenly jumped down and ran downhill in our direction. As soon as we saw that, we quickly took our positions and got ready for a shot.
Давай. Отынгатай. Давай. Давай. Сай. Сай. Кто рога разбил?
Вот это старик. А? Смотри. Круг.
Хороший же.
Вообще. О, долгожданный трофей наш. Трофей оказался трудовым.
Here it is, our long-awaited trophy. We really had to work hard for this ram. This season, we did not get him on our first trip. It is an excellent animal, an old ram. I think he is around 12 years old, maybe even a little older. His horns are broken in places, so he was probably a fighter. In terms of trophy quality, he is a very good ram. In terms of trophy quality, he is a very good ram. Of course, it is a shame that one horn is broken, because that means he would not qualify for an official trophy score. But that is not what matters most to us. He is still a strong, healthy ram, and for us, he is a real trophy. We see him as a gift from Bayanai, the spirit of hunting, because he practically came to us on his own. We did not even have to climb the mountain and then bring him down. Before that, we had already made plenty of hard climbs for nothing. And finally, here, all our effort paid off. We hunt with Russian-made Tiger rifles. In our northern conditions, very few foreign rifles can compare to them. In frost or heat, in rain or snow, they work reliably, every time. The main thing is to keep the rifle clean, and then there will be no problems. The The shot was good. We dropped him with a single round. While we were watching the other rams, this one appeared on the mountain behind us and stood there watching in our direction for quite a while. Once we realized he had already spotted us, we did not even try to hide. On the contrary, we kept moving around. It seems that movement caught his attention, and he decided to come down, as if he wanted to see what was going on and show who was in charge.
И выдавливают, да? Оп.
After processing the animal, we still had plenty of time before evening, so we left the meat where it was and split into 2 teams of 2, heading out in different directions. After walking quite a bit farther, we came across a huge number of tracks. We had never seen such a dense concentration of tracks stretched over such a large area. But strangely enough, there was not a single ram in sight.
Переход.
Трасса. Летом водопой был.
To our surprise, instead of sheep, we spotted a sable on the mountainside. Apparently, like us, he had also come out to hunt. After wandering a little longer without any success, we decided to return to this spot the next day, because judging by the sheer number of tracks, something about this place was drawing the sheep in. It was starting to get dark in the mountains, so it was time for us to head back to the tent and pick up the meat on the way.
This is what our hunting camp life looks like. Simple tent life in the mountains. We came to a place where there's no winter cabin, no hut, nowhere we could stay. So we are living in a tent. It is a hexagon tent, fairly spacious by camp standards. It fits 4 cots, a table, a stove, and a heater. Everything we need. Of course, it is a little cramped, but at the same time, everything is close at hand, and overall, it works well. Today we spent the whole day out in the mountains. Outside, the temperature was below minus 30 degrees Celsius. Naturally, we got sweaty and damp during the day, and now in the evening, we have time to dry our clothes so that tomorrow we can head out again wearing dry gear. In winter, being out in wet clothes is the last thing you want. Now we're going to start cooking. We got a good ram, not skinny, with a nice layer of fat. Once a little of that fat renders down, we'll start adding the rest. We've got the tenderloin here, the heart, and the testicles. We're going to cook it all together and fry it up. We came here in one vehicle, 4 of us, in a Toyota Hilux pickup. The cab is very small, and since we had a long drive ahead of us, we carried everything in the canopy, so nothing would get in the way inside. The canopy is not heated and stays cold, so almost all of our food froze. We chopped the onions and other vegetables in advance, cut everything up, and prepared it to be frozen.
Тут у нас сердце и вырезка.
Here we've got the heart and the tenderloin.
Сейчас мы перевернем их и подсолим.
Now we'll flip the testicles and add a little salt.
Запах отменный.
Smells amazing.
Вообще давно не ели. Приступим к блюду номер 2. Приступаем к готовке второго блюда. Посолили, немножко поперчили.
Now we're moving on to the second dish. We've salted it and added a bit of pepper. Here we've got onions, garlic, bell peppers,
Сердце и почки.
diaphragm, heart, and kidneys.
Это толстый кишечник. По-якутски называется
This is the
мычас.
large intestine.
Как-то решили попробовать.
In Yakut, it's
Получилось
called
очень
michas.
вкусно. Поэтому
We tried it once and it turned out really
по
good.
возможности так и готовим. Процесс такой не самый быстрый.
So now we cook it this way whenever we can.
Набили
The process isn't the fastest.
ингредиентами. Сейчас
We've stuffed the intestines with ingredients.
будем жарить.
Now we'll tie them off and start cooking.
Так, жарим все вот это дело. Хлеб замешанный ставишь.
The next morning, we once again split into two groups and headed in the same directions as the day before. The guys from the other group had seen around 20 rams the day before, but they were unable to take one because all of them were too far away. So that morning, we set out with a great deal of hope and optimism. My cameraman and I headed to the place where we had seen so many tracks the day before, and when we reached that exact spot, we saw 2 rams.
Не, телка с ягненком.
Да?
Ага.
Ah, that's a ewe with a lamb.
Oh, really? So, we're not shooting?
I don't know. You decide.
Ну стреляй, попробуй.
Damn, they're only about 300 meters away.
Well, take the shot if you want.
I don't want to kill a ewe, especially with a lamb. But on the other hand, they're standing so close, almost tempting us. Are you sure that's a ewe with a lamb? Yes, definitely. Damn, what do we do?
Или проверка.
Is this a gift from the spirit of hunting, or is he testing us?
Да.
Try it.
Может, проверка.
I really don't want to.
Все-таки
Maybe this is a test of greed.
как телка-самка еще и с ягненком.
After all,
Дальше
it's a
тоже
female,
охотится.
and she has a lamb.
Не одним годом живем.
We'll keep hunting.
Хотя бы подрастет.
Life doesn't end today. At
Поэтому,
least let the lamb grow.
наверное, надо в таком случае
So in a case like this,
свои эмоции сдерживать.
we probably need to control our emotions.
Пусть плодятся, размножаются.
Let them breed and grow in number.
Старика.
We'll keep looking for an old ram.
На этот раз.
This time, I'd really like to find one with both horns intact.
Погнали.
Well then,
Такие дела.
get your gear and let's keep going. That's how it is. I would have taken the shot.
After walking a little farther, we spotted another young ram, but he was standing too high up. And we didn't want to take a young one anyway, so we kept moving on. A few meters later, we heard horns clashing, and then we spotted two rams fighting. They were about 320 meters away, but the angle was quite steep. After a moment's thought, we decided to take the shot.
Попал. Хорош. Еще. Бей, 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 бей. Пусть бежит. Не убивай. Пусть к нам бежит. Вот встал. Встал он. Стоит. Упал. Влево пошел. А, стоит он. Ну он в сторону нас. Короче, влево ты его увидишь сейчас. Вот идет. Влево, влево. Добивать надо. Сзади попадает. Попал. Давай, давай, давай. Сейчас падать будет. Смотрит на тебя. Встал опять. Ну там же. Стоит. Давай. Это шанс уронить. Потому что он скоро все равно. Вниз попал. Побежал влево. Нога повреждена. Не-не-не. Встал. Вниз. На метр низко стрельнул. Его болтает. Самим бы не потерять из виду. Да. Я пошел.
Корректируй, а? Корректировка в сторону.
Не видел. Стоит не близко. Вверх стрельнул. Опа! Вот это попадание! У-ху!
Не зря военный проверял нас.
Ха-ха!
Есть! Да, конечно, полуавтомат.
Yeah, semi-auto gives bad shooters a lot of good chances.
Хорошая возможность. У меня аж ствол нагрелся.
My barrel's gotten hot.
Есть.
Got him.
Да, круто.
Yeah, awesome.
Но плотность тут прямо
The density of animals here is incredible.
поражает.
There are so many rams.
А мы
We were still walking, and my cameraman says, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Hear what?" He goes, "Horns clashing." I said, "No, I didn't hear it." Then we came around the bend, and there were two rams fighting.
We're heading up now to get our trophy.
Они стояли.
They were standing over there,
Да. А этот упал где-то.
and this one went down way over there.
Обрадовавшись добыче трофея,
As soon as we saw him go down, we rushed up to that
туда,
spot.
куда упал, в то место. Он
But it
упал,
turns out he fell and rolled all the way into the ravine.
и туда.
We might not be able to get to him.
Мне все-таки хочется посмотреть.
Still,
вот
I want to
смотри,
check
вдруг
over
он там
there.
на краю.
Maybe he got caught near the
Застрял.
edge.
Давай, зарядь.
Очень хорошее попадание. Почему ты не умер?
Hyökkää.
Курю, это был вот. Он отбачал. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 5 или 6, да? 6. 6 лет. Это очень большой угол. Еще один день прошел.
Another
успешно.
successful day.
Охота
The hunt went
удачная.
well.
Сейчас всё,
Now
что
comes the
останется
part
за
that
кадром,
stays behind the
это надо
scenes.
донести
Field
до
dressing the
кадра.
animal and somehow
Ну,
carrying it
берём
back to
фиксатором,
camp.
ну, не
There are only
фиксатор,
2 of us,
и
but that's all right.
не таких
We've carried
фиксаторов.
out heavier loads before.
By the time we finished field dressing the animal, it was already dark. We contacted the second team by radio. They had not had any luck that day either and were heading back empty-handed, so we asked them to come meet us and help carry the meat back.
Хорошо, хорошо, давай. Сейчас мы рюкзаки закладываем уже.
And that's how our Yakutian snow sheep hunt came to an end. But to be fair, on the final day, while my cameraman and I stayed back at camp to pack up, the second team did manage to get their ram. So it all came together in the end, and we're heading home happy and satisfied.